Hi everyone. Now we're going to look at rounding, and rounding has a toolkit page. So let's go to the toolkits and do the toolkit. So the toolkit for rounding, we're actually going to look at place values and rounding. They just kind of go together. And place values is like old news. The decimal is right here in the middle. And then we kind of think of these as these are the family. This is the ones family. And this is the thousands family. And then there's the millions family. And then there's the billions, which I didn't include here. So if I had a number, let's say it goes 3, 4, 7, 9, 2, 6, 1. This would be 3,279,261. Okay. That's how we read the numbers. And sometimes people put commas between the digits in groups of 3, or I think the official Canadian way now is to put a space. But what it is this means I have 6 groups of 10, I have 2 groups of 100, I have 9 groups of 1,000, and so on. On the other side of the decimal, we have the ths. Okay, so it's the parts of. So the first one is tenths. So if I have 0.2, that is 2 tenths. Okay. If I have 0.73, then I filled up these 2 spaces, so it's 72 hundredths. It's hard to say, hard to write. Okay. All right, so we have to know that when we're rounding things. Okay. So when we round things, there are 3 steps. If rounding is a thing that if you get it and you know how to do it, go ahead and do it. If you struggle with it, these are steps that will really help you. Okay. So the first thing is you underline the target digit. Okay, that's the one you're asked to round to. So for example, in this example here, we're asked to round to the nearest 100. So I have to identify which digit is in the 100 spot. So that's this 6 right here. So I'm going to underline it. Okay. And then I'm going to circle the next digit. So I'm going to circle the 5. And the 5 is the only one that I'm going to look at when I'm deciding if I'm rounding up or rounding down. Okay, it's the only one. And I'm looking at that, and it's because it's greater than 5, or 5 or greater. Okay, it's 5 or greater. I'm going to round up, and I sometimes will put a little arrow here to say, this tells me I have to do something to the 6. And that means I'm making the 6 bigger. You'll never make the target digit smaller. You will only leave it the same or make it bigger. And in this case, I'm going to make it bigger because the 5 is telling me I need to do that. So this is going to be 397. And then I fill as far as the decimal with zeros. Okay. And that's what the zero is about. 0, fill with zeros. To the decimal. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying here, it's asking me to round this to the nearest 100. So it's asking me, is it closer to 39,600 or 39,700? Because it's in between those two. okay? And it's closer to 39,700, so that's what I'm going to write, okay? When I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, my underline is going to be the digit that's in the hundredth spot. So you'll notice up here there is a units or a ones column or spot on the upper side. There's not on the bottom. We go right to the tenths. Okay, there's no spot there for the ones because like this is a whole one. So the hundredth is the second spot. So I'm going to underline the 4 this time, and I'm going to circle the next digit, which is the 2. And I'm only going to look at the 2. I don't care about anything else. Okay, and it tells me I'm going to round down. So my answer is going to be 39,653.34. And round down, I don't actually change it. I leave it the same, okay? Because it's closer to 39,653.34 than it is to 39,653.35. Okay? Now, beware the cascade. If the target is 9, so in this example here, round it to the nearest 1,000. So the nearest 1,000 is the 9 spot, okay? And then I look at my next digit, which is the 6, to tell me if I'm rounding up or down. And I'm going to round up. But I can't make 9 bigger, can I? Because then it's a 10 and it takes up too many spaces and everything gets messed up. So there's 2 ways you can look at this. You can say I'm going to add 1 to this, and then I'm going to, so that becomes 10, but I get to carry the 1 and it's going to become 40. I actually think it's easier to say, well, I can't change the 9, so can I change 39? Can I make 39 bigger? Yeah, so this then becomes 40,000. Okay, so this number is closer to 40,000 than it is to 39,000. It's in the middle there, but it's closer to 40,000. Okay, and up here I wasn't really clear with this, that the when you're rounding it in whole numbers, like to the left of the decimal, you need to fill in the zeros as far as the decimal, because those are placeholders, right? I can't take this and round it to 397 and not put those zeros in, because 39,000 isn't anywhere near 397. I need those 2 zeros, okay? When I'm rounding things to hundredths or decimal values, so things to the right of the decimal, then there are 2 sort of things that happen. One is in this case where I was rounding to the nearest hundredth, the last digit that I'm going to have information in is the hundredth digit, and I don't put the zeros here, okay? But if I actually had a question where it was, let's say it's 4.25712, okay, and I'm asked to round this, actually no, let's make that a 0. You don't need to write this one down. This isn't actually on the page, but if that was a 0, and I was asked to round this to the nearest 10 thousandths, okay? So this is tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So I'm rounding it to this one. So I'm going to circle this one. That tells me I'm rounding down. So my answer is going to be 4.257. 0. I actually need to keep this 0 because that is the 10,000ths spot. So I need to keep that 0 in this case. Okay. Otherwise, when you're rounding decimals, you lose the decimals. Okay. The bottom line is your last digit needs to be in the column that matches, or the spot that matches whatever you're rounding it to. The 10,000ths or the hundredths or the tenths or the billionths or whatever. Okay? All right. Hopefully that is refreshing your memory as to things that you should know. And let's go and take a look at the review package, question page. We're on page 17. And so some of the questions have a spot underlined already. So like this one, the 9 is underlined. That's where you're going to round to. And some of them have tell you you're rounding to the nearest hundred thousands or the ones or the tens or whatever. Okay, so go ahead and do that rounding, and I'll catch you later. Bye.